What's going on, guys? It's J-Ho bringing you a brand new video, and today I want to give you guys some tips on increasing your character's power level in Destiny 2. So in Destiny 2 there are a lot of options and a lot of different ways that you can increase your character's power level, and the main thing to keep in mind is to hold off on certain activities or methods of gaining power level until you hit a certain point in your character's progression. So I'm going to quickly break it down and give you guys an effective leveling process. So let's get into it. First of all, you're going to start off with the story. That's pretty typical for everyone. You're going to start off playing the main story or the main campaign. So by completing the story, you're going to reach the base level of 20, and you're also going to reach around a power level of 200 or so, give or take, depending on how quickly, how many enemies you kill and whatnot. So once you complete the story and you're sitting around that 200 power level, that's when a lot of options open up to you. There's going to be a lot of milestones that appear on that left tab when you open it up in your director. And the main thing to keep in mind here is to hold off on those milestones before you hit a certain power level. So the main power level you have to keep in mind is power 260. Once you hit that level, that's when it starts to get harder to get increases in your power level. If you're returning a Destiny 1 player, there are a lot of benchmarks along the way when we were leveling our characters up, where once you hit this benchmark, light level or power level, then you only can do certain activities from then on to gain increases in your light or your power. So when you're in that range of anything under power level 260 after completing the story, you can pretty much do lost sectors, you can do adventures, you can do public events, you can play Crucible, you can do strikes. There's a lot of different options available, but pretty much you're going to focus on earning blue gear or rare quality gear up to that 260 power level benchmark. So for me personally, I found that the most effective thing to do are things like lost sectors, adventures, and public events, and the reason why is because those are the quickest to complete, and you're trying to earn a lot of blue gear as quick as possible, and you only get like 1 or 2 drops every time you complete some of these activities. However, when you go into like a strike or something, it takes a lot longer to complete the strike, and you're only getting like a couple drops at the end, so it's more effective and more time efficient to do things like lost sectors and public events, because those are a lot quicker to complete. You just go into a specific world and then you can complete these back to back, so it's really quick and really time effective because you earn a lot of blue drops and you can get those small increases or small increments of power level. And then also, while you're doing this in the various worlds, you're going to be collecting those tokens in their respective worlds, and then you can bring it to the vendors of that respective world that you're in, and you can earn some gear from them as well by just ranking up in the reputation bar from that specific vendor. And right now I'm still in that process of leveling up, and I haven't really used any tokens yet. I've been saving them up, but from what I heard from other players, the level that it drops at, or the max level that some of those drops come in at, is 265. So turning in those tokens is another way to get to that benchmark of 260 power level as well. And then once you hit that power level of 260, that's when you're going to start to hone in on those milestones. You're going to focus on things like the flashpoint for the week, the weekly nightfall activity as well. You also can focus on some of those quests that become available after completing the story as well. So another thing to keep in mind is to hold off from doing those quests right away after completing the story, because a lot of these quests are tied to an exotic reward at the end, and these exotics can drop past that benchmark of 260 power level. So holding off on those and saving them from after you hit 260 is very efficient. It's just another way that you can earn more rewards past that 260 power level. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. But overall, to sum up the video briefly, you complete the story and then you're going to reach around 200 power level. Once you hit 200 power level, or once you complete the story, you have to try to acquire blue gear and then get to that 260 benchmark power level. And so the best methods I found for this are doing lost sectors, public events, or adventures that can give you rare quality gear. And then once you hit that power level of 260, then you focus in on flashpoints, on nightfalls, on those quests that can drop exotics as well. So those are the main things to keep in mind. Those are my tips for increasing your power level in Destiny 2 so far. Thank you guys for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.